Hey guys, Chickadee Maine, Debu.com with a Debu.com surf forecast update. This forecast update effective around 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday, September 4th, 2016. And folks living along the mid-Atlantic through the Northeast, if you're looking for specific storm information on post-tropical storm HER-MEEN, please visit the National Hurricane Center at www.hurricane.gov for all official watches and warnings and forecasts. If official watches and warnings are issued for your area, please heed the advice of all state, local, county emergency officials. Okay, guys, here's this 2.0 HER-MEEN swell setting up that we've been talking about now, and the difference between the models on either hugging to the coast or just off the coast, the difference between the GFS and the Euro. It looks like the Euro trend is verifying, as it looks like HER-MEEN is further off the coast at the moment than what is originally forecast. When we look at HER-MEEN in the visible satellite loop, you can see clearly a light shift towards the east. Now, HER-MEEN is forecast to make a turn towards the north-northwest over the next 24 to 48 hours. Now, that is was the official forecast. That's kind of what the models are showing at the moment. But what we are showing, folks who are from the non-surfer maritime community, that this is opening up a stronger northeast fetch in here between the Outer Banks. Obviously, for surfers along the mid-Atlantic through the Northeast, it's just a matter of when you're going to get the right winds for offshore for cleanup. Now, mind you, this is an old image based on a model run from yesterday. This is showing it closer to the coast. When we flip you back over to the visible, you see it's further out to the east. So again, this is going to open up more northeast fetch, or it should. For those wondering about the Outer Banks shadow, this is what we're talking about, where strong northeast winds develop here, hit the banks, and blocks that swell from getting down into here. Obviously, this is sending a northwest swell towards the Bahamas, Hispaniola, and Puerto Rico. When we go to look at the latest info on the South Hatteras buoy, solid swell now filling in on the South Hatteras buoy, nearing about 10 feet out of the northeast at 12 to 14 seconds, guys. Okay, this is filling in pretty quickly. So we've gone into a buoy watch. It's a shame we don't have the East Canaveral buoy anymore, but there's a possible surf alert setting up. The wind should be onshore through northeast Florida, lighter through central Florida, and additionally for Palm Beach County, that area in there, there's a possible little mix of some bounce swell, some refract swell coming off the Bahamas off this. This is going to have a west-northwest component as it gets further to the south. We'll show you the latest 48-hour NOAA swell forecast. And as you can see, NOAA, now this was based on HER-MEEN getting up here into the pocket. If in fact HER-MEEN verifies and is further east of the Outer Banks, again, this is going to open up more northeast fetching here, guys. This is a real-time forecast. Seas have increased to over 25 feet. NOAA is forecasting seas in excess of 30 feet next 24 to 48 hours. Again, guys, if the 30 to 35 feet verifies and the system is further east, this is going to open up the chance for more northeast groundswell to get in here past the Outer Banks. Here's the look at 92L Invest coming into the Caribbean. This will be something that we'll be keeping an eye on the next couple of days. It's got a lot of shear to deal with, but once it gets over here into the Western Caribbean, if you follow our updates, you know, this is one of the pockets in here that can get a little spin. There's two of them in here. Down here in the Southwest Caribbean, sometimes you can get these, like we talked about before in a couple of updates ago, where an area of low pressure gets deposited in here and then can get allowed to spin up into the Gulf of Honduras, and then depending on the flow, end up over here in the Western Gulf of Mexico or coming up the Uke Channel. Models want to take 92L across that path and puts it over here in the Bay of Campeche, guys. And we can already see from the tail end of HER-MEEN in here, just leaving a piece. And you always watch the tail ends of fronts during hurricane season for an area of low pressure to develop. And with the incoming 92L invest coming into the same region, gives chance for development in here. When we look out further east, guys, the latest tropical wave that is moving off the West African coast, this is going to lift into the northern latitude. But what it's done is it's created a pocket of SAL, clear air, and we've got another tropical wave that's moving off and then another one behind that. And so the next 7 to 10 days, we're starting to look at some possible increased tropical activity as we head right into the peak of season. We're going to be doing an update after we see the afternoon model runs and to see what HER-MEEN does. But again, guys, South Hatteras buoy, solid 10 foot, 12.1 seconds out of the northeast, and we're going to be watching this buoy later on today to see if the rotation will go more northeast, setting up possible surf alert Labor Day 2016. Stay tuned for the forecast.